Well, welcome to Bridging the Gap here. This is your host, John Williams. Today we'll discuss Tesla's supercomputer that's being built in Gigafactory. Elon Musk did a walkthrough of the supercomputer cluster on August 3rd and gave it a name and called it Cortex. This supercomputer will provide massive storage for video training, which will be mostly focused on FSD, full self-driving, and Optimus. This will be a discussion for our session today. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome aboard. Away we go. Cortex supercomputer. We are currently on the brink of having a new supercomputer at Gigafactory. This will be one of the largest supercomputers in the world. Tesla says it has designed its own supercomputer. They're quite the designers at Tesla, I must give them credit. They found that the current solutions were insufficient and are building their own. They need more processing power and had to increase the volume of data. Quite important actually for the project they're actually carrying out here. And basically what I'm referring to is full self-driving, which is demanding actually of data and processing power, which is really what they're after here. Starting a little funny note here, supercomputers, flying cars, and bots. This is the future, of course. And what brings that to mind is the Jetsons. One little quote here, when I was a kid, I'd wake up extraordinarily early and turn on the television, scanning for episodes of the Jetsons. For some reason, I love the notion of the future where there'd be flying cars, supercomputers, and most of all, robot maids to take care of the chores. This is a quote from Ben Shapiro. I thought it was quite interesting here. But Ben's dreams are becoming reality. We don't have flying cars, but supercomputers are actually here, and bots are on the way. So the large supercomputer cluster in Texas will be water cooled, which means they have to build an extremely expensive structure there in Texas to actually support this supercomputer. Something that, not many companies take on, but Tesla is actually accomplishing it, as you can see with some of the pictures I actually have here. The Cortex cluster will house 100,000 Nvidia H100 and H200 chips. A huge amount of actual chips that are being bought by Nvidia. And these are, and the H200 chips, just a little side note there, is really 45% performance improvement over the H100. Now we don't know how many of these 100K chips are going to be 100s or 200s, but as you can see, big significant improvements here. These chips will be used for video training. The cooling needed for the Cortex supercomputer will be massive. Again, here's the pipes, as you can see. Joe Dedemeyer actually is a drone pilot, takes pictures and videos of actually of Gigafactory. You may want to check out his videos. They're quite comprehensive, a lot of intelligence. If you want to learn and see and track actually what's going on with Gigafactory, he's the person to follow. Specifically for Tesla self-driving, as we talked about, and the Optimus neural networks, that's actually what this supercomputer is for. The rise of the machines. The supercomputer center will require 130 megawatts of power and cooling this year. This is another good view from Joe Dedemeyer, and actually those are the fans actually of the cooling unit being built in Gigafactory. This will increase to more than 500 megawatts over the next 18 months. So it's going to draw more and more power as they add more capacity to it. Massive fans, 4 giant water cooling tanks. You can see actually up to the right side there of the tanks actually for accommodating this. Musk estimated Tesla's Nvidia purchases for Cortex to be $3 to $4 billion in 2024. Tesla's total AI-related expenditures are expected to reach $10 billion in 2024. A lot of money being put out here for AI. The hardest situations for a full self-driving system are the rare and unpredictable events, just like any driving here. Things that come up, how do you know that FSD can actually handle it? Waiting to collect enough real-time data for training takes way too long. Tesla does capture real-life examples and uses them in simulations to closely mimic reality, which they have to do, but they have all the cars, so they do have a lot of data. But creating realistic renders with shadows, day and night lighting, emergency vehicles, all these different combinations, very hard to emulate. So, full self-driving computer model must run through an incredible number of iterations to learn and become better and better and better and faster. This requires massive processing power and a huge data model, which is too much for most computer systems. Today, Tesla has FSD at a usable level despite the challenge, but it cannot complete this work without a supercomputer to carry it over the finish line, which is what Cortex will provide them. So, what is a supercomputer? A supercomputer is made up of thousands of smaller computers called nodes. Each of these nodes has its own CPU, central processing unit, and a GPU, which is a graphics processing unit. The former handles overall management of the node, and the later does the complex stuff, like splitting tasks into multiple parts and working on them simultaneously. GPUs are essential for machine learning operations that power FSD training and simulation. They also power large language models, which is why the rise of generative AI has made Nvidia one of the most valuable companies in the world today. Why does Tesla need a supercomputer though? Well, Tesla's vision-only approach is the main reason Tesla needs a supercomputer. Their full self-driving is based on cameras that are outside the car, recording information as the person drives. The neural network behind FSD are trained on vast amounts of driving data to recognize and classify objects around the vehicle and then make driving decisions. This means that when FSD is engaged, the neural nets have to collect and process visual data continuously at speeds that match the depth, velocity, and recognition capabilities of us, humans. In other words, Tesla needs to create a digital duplicate of the human visual cortex and brain function. In a nutshell, Tesla needs to store and process all the video data collected from its cars around the world and run millions of simulations to train its FSD model on the data. Not an easy task to do, but never bet against Tesla. Not an easy task, but I think they're up for the challenge. Thank you for watching the video today. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one. Bye-bye. To finish off our discussion on the actual Cortex supercomputer, here's actually a short video showing actually the construction on the site. If you look ahead though, you'll see the water tanks, actually the 4 of them actually that are contained actually inside the building. And coming up here now, this is actually the 6 actual fans that actually used for the cooling tower they have being built there. That's where all the water pipes are extended from actually the main supercomputer in the main building, coming out actually to this cooling plant, and of course then returning back to the actual factory. So you'll see on the 2nd floor, that is actually where the actual supercomputer is going to be located. It's not completed, but they are actually building actual servers in there now per Elon's last update actually on X. So quite an extensive operation there, very large, very expensive, but they're putting in the time and money from Tesla to actually make this happen. Very exciting. And my thanks to Joe Tetmeyer. He actually is the drone pilot and took these videos that you're watching right here. So, okay, that's your latest update. Have a good one. Bye. Welcome, this is John Williams. This little introduction here. This is Bridging the Gap channel. My goal is to create something special to both entertain and educate people, to help you understand how artificial intelligence is changing the world. I hope you enjoy the video today. Please follow me and more to come. Thank you much.